Alrighty everybody, welcome back to another video. I am Blue Monkey, and today we're going to be showing you how to tame Reban? I don't know, the undead Ravisaur. You know the one I'm talking about. It's the only undead Ravisaur in the game. He looks absolutely beastly, and he's only tameable in the King's Rest dungeon. So today I'm going to be showing you how to proceed through all the encounters by yourself and actually get to the point in the dungeon where you will be able to tame him. Leave me a like down below, helps the channel out a ton. And if you want to see more useful content just like this every single week, be sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and without further ado, let's jump right in. Alright guys, so here we are. Here's my current item level. Here are the talents that I'm taking. I would say that your talents are not, they don't have to be super optimized to be able to do this. There's just a couple tricky parts that I'll have to walk you through, but I am going to tell you to choose the Beast Mastery spec, and I am going to tell you to run a Cleft Hoof, because we're going to need our pet to do as much tanking as possible, and you'll see what I mean in a second. It's going to be basically necessary to take a Cleft Hoof, matter of fact. So I do have my fault line here. And one thing that I will say is that in addition to your regular rotation that you're going to be doing, I would say that you're going to have to pay extra special attention to your misdirection and to your mend pet. Like I said, your pet is going to be very important in these encounters. And unfortunately, the raptor doesn't spawn until the final boss. And you got to take the final boss down to 80% health. So we're basically going to be doing the whole dungeon solo. Now, I have done this on heroic. I actually tamed him in the heroic version of the raid. Like I said, I was only level 185, so it is doable. There's just a couple tricky things, but we're going to go ahead and jump in now. Okay, before we go any further, it is important to know that you can't tame undead beasts unless you are playing an undead character, or you have the simple tome of bone binding. The tome drops from Maldraxxus Elite and Maldraxxus Dungeon bosses. If you don't play undead or have the tome, you need to do this first. It would really suck if you got all the way to the end and couldn't tame the pet. Also, if your item level is on the lower side, this is still very doable. Later in the video, I'll tell you that your pet can do some pretty big pulls. If it can't, just try to take it slow, pull as little as possible, and have patience. Now let's continue. And here we are already in the first boss room. So you're going to click on this little pillar here, and that will start the encounter. So this boss is pretty simple. We're going to go around and we're going to kill all the ads in the room, and then the boss is going to spawn, and then we're going to kill the boss, and it's basically as simple as that. Nothing too special. Again, you want to always make sure you misdirect onto your pet. If you don't know how to do that, I will throw a macro up on the screen for you, but actually before we get into this. So use that macro and use that in place of your regular misdirection ability. This is going to ensure that all of the aggro is going to go straight to your pet. And so without further ado, let's get started. And your pets can do some pretty big pulls here. So make sure you have mend pet up at all times. Remember, mend pet is on a 10-second cooldown, and it lasts for 10 seconds. Now you see I'm actually pulling a ton of the aggro. If that ends up happening, I'm not taking too much damage, so I'm not worried about it. If you are taking a lot of damage at this part right here, you can just feign death. Once you feign death, all the enemies are going to start attacking your pet. See, I am actually losing some health now. And remember that when you use your mend pet, it actually gives you some leech because we took a Cleft Hoof. So as you can see here, I'll cast my mend pet, and you can see that I'm healing right over here on the side. That counts as leech, which is super nice. Since we don't have a ton of healing options, as hunters. So I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward this for you guys. And I will meet you when the boss actually spawns. Alright guys, so here we are. Nice and fast forwarded, and here's the boss. And like I said, when you're solo, this is fairly simple. Use your misdirection. Get your pets in there. Do your regular rotation. Make sure you're keeping your stacks of frenzy up. You're spacing your barb shots out. And you can even use your primal rage if you want. And you can see that the boss is still just attacking my pet. Obviously, don't stand in anything. You can read the... you can go into your adventure guide, go to dungeons, click on Battle for Azeroth, and then you can like literally read the encounters one by one if you want a really in-depth explanation. I'm here to tell you right now that you actually don't need to understand every single mechanic, because number one, we out-level this by a lot. As you can see, I'm killing this boss fairly quickly for this being a dungeon. But that's just something that if you want a little bit more detail, you can go ahead and do. So there you go. Boss is dead. And we're moving on. So you move forward a little bit, and then we have this encounter here, which is more of a nuisance than anything. Basically, each of these guys, each of these groups of enemies are gonna come to life one by one, and you gotta kill them. There's that simple. Matter of fact, I'm actually just gonna fast forward this entire fight, and I will talk to you when we get to the next actual boss. Okay, here's where it gets tricky, because these guys right here have an ability called Entomb, and if you get entombed, the entire encounter resets. So this is where having a cleft hoof comes in handy, because you'll notice if you try it, you cannot interrupt when the intermittent construct is casting Entomb, so your only option is to feign death. Now, it will not cast Entomb onto your pet, so what we're gonna do, without pulling any aggro, is we're gonna go around and we're gonna kill all these little embalming fluids. And then when we get to the intermittent construct, we're gonna dish out as much damage as we possibly can to it. And as soon as we see it try to cast Entomb, we're gonna feign death and we're gonna let our pets handle the rest. This is why it's really important to have a cleft hoof, because our cleft hoof here is getting 15% leech as well as a number of defensive abilities for it to use in its fight against the intermittent construct. And it's the same thing when we get to the boss. So I'm going to show you how it works. So you'll notice, guys, that they actually, when they die, they spread this big ass green shit. So you want to have them die as close together as possible, and preferably towards the edge of the room, which is going to make your life a whole lot easier. Okay, one thing I didn't realize until after I initially recorded this video is that when the world quest King's Rest Malfunction Junction is up, instead of little boogers, there will be a giant malfunctioning construct in the middle of the room. In my opinion, this is actually easier, but just something I wanted to mention in case you got to this point and were confused. Alright, let's head back. Alright, so the room's cleared. We have the two intermittent constructs on each side, and then we have the boss in the middle. We can't go straight for the boss. We have to take care of the intermittent constructs. You want to get as many dots on the enemies before the Entomb goes off. And I didn't have my murder crows, which is fine. See, there it is. We're going to feign death. And then the pets will literally take care of the rest. There is one intricacy to your, Jesus Christ, to your feign death. If you move the camera with the right mouse button click down, your character will turn and stand up. So if you're gonna look around, make sure you do it with the free look and not with the look that's actually attached to the way your character is facing. So here we go again. So that's that, and it's gonna be the same thing going into the boss fight. So here we go. Just dodge the burn corruptions, drain fluids, don't worry about it. It's Entomb that you want to watch for. Damn, he's going hell along without entombing me. Oh, there it is. So we'll go ahead and fast forward now, and I'll let you know how long it actually took for the remainder of the fight. And there it is. About 3.5 minutes. So, not too terribly bad. We're gonna just fast forward straight to the next boss because it's a pretty linear path. It's kind of hard to get lost here, so I will see you at the next encounter. Okay, so this next one's a little goofy too. It's basically 3 bosses, and they all do different things. You have to fight them one at a time. God damn it. Okay, I have to pause again for a second because I forgot to mention something else. The 3 bosses here can spawn in any order, so you won't necessarily have the same fight that I'm about to walk you through. Just know that, and you're about to see it. After you defeat each boss, the main mechanic of that boss will later return to the fight. And now, back to the program. And they all have different mechanics, so I'm just going to explain it as it goes. It'll be a little bit too difficult to try to explain it up front. So we're just going to go ahead and get started. Okay, so barrel through. It spreads damage between all the targets that it hits. So he's going to go straight through and hit me. Since it also hit my pet, it decreased the damage. So you want to make sure to stand behind your pet when you do that. Or when he casts barrel through. That's his main mechanic. So there's barrel through again. I want to make sure to come over here and stand behind my pet. Suppose I can keep casting. There we go. And it's no problem at all. So we just killed him, but that mechanic will return to the fight later. You'll see. This one, I think this is the guy that summons his totems. If you're taking damage, again, make sure to use your men pet. Try to spread your exhilarations out as far as possible. So you can interrupt his Poison Nova, as you just saw. When he uses Call of the Elements, he's going to summon a bunch of totems. Take the totems out. It's going to make your life easier. As you can see, it's splashing the ground all over the place. Basically as simple as that. This guy is taking forever to go down, though. Holy shit. Okay. Oh, shoot. That might be our Poison Nova. So this chick's annoying too. Again, make sure you're using your misdirection so that the enemy attacks your pets instead of you. Because you're going to need to be mobile because she casts out all these axes. And before you know it, there's going to be a shit ton. See, look, here's the mechanic again. This guy came back through. He's trying to use his barrel through. Hide behind our pets. And we're good to go. We don't need to attack him. We only need to kill this one. As you can see, he just disappeared. And you can tell there's already 6 of these axes on the floor. If your item level is any lower than mine, this very well might be a problem. So that's the encounter. Honestly, I keep thinking these are going to be a lot harder because when I did it, it was a lot harder. But that's that. And then we're just going to, we'll take the chest. And we're going to backtrack a little bit and we're going to take a left on the bridge that we just crossed. And there's another tactic that I like to use to bypass enemies besides camouflage, and that's just to run past them and then feign death. Oh, we actually have to fight this Shadow of Zul right here, so I'm gonna feign death, leave those guys on the other side of the bridge. And I remember this guy being in some trouble too, but let's find out. Oh yeah, because those shadow barrages actually do some damage. So this might be one that you have to feign death for as well. Only if you're about to die. If you can manage to keep yourself alive, it should be fine. But I remember almost dying, and the shadow barrage doesn't hit the pets; it only hits you. So that's a little mini encounter here. If you end up not being able to kill this guy, seems like I'm doing fine. Again, just make sure you use your feign death, and your pets will take care of him. So here we are at the big moment. So the King Dazar boss fight. Now it's pretty simple. You can tame the pet once the boss gets down to 80% health. But they throw him and the pet. They throw a lot of interrupts on you. And they don't just interrupt you, they shove you over. They fucking push you around, dude. You'll see what I'm saying. So there's a couple ways that you could go about it. You can keep your pets up for now until the boss gets down to 80% health, and then dismiss your pet. The only problem is dismiss pet is also capable of being interrupted, or you can just go in there balls to the wall with no pet. That way, once the raptor does spawn, you're able to just kind of turtle tame him. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my pets away. I'm fairly certain that I'm going to be able to get the boss down to 80% health. That's only 20% of a health bar that I have to take away. And then I'm going to try to turtle tame the raptor. So wish me luck. Oh, damn it. I forgot I have macros to auto summon my pet. Alright, so here we are. The pets are out, so we're just going to try to make it happen. So let's misdirect. Now, he's probably getting pretty close to 80% health. Oh, here he is. Here he is. So, we're going to dismiss pet. Interrupted. Interrupted. You see what I'm saying? He jumps at you with that attack. So, okay, we got it off. Okay, we're going to turtle tame. Damn it, wrong button. Damn it, wrong button. I think I screwed up. Oh, we got him. Okay, cool. So that's the best way to do it. Dismiss your pets, turtle tame the raptor, and there you have it, guys. If you have any trouble, be sure to let me know down in the comment section. If you want to get in touch with me, that is the place to do it. Guys, until next week, I'm Blue Monkey, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.